You think you can survive without prayer, but the truth is terrifying. Living without prayer is like cutting off your lifeline to God, and the enemy knows it, which is why he secretly targets those who neglect it. Because prayer is not just words, it is the shield that blocks flaming arrows and the connection that keeps your spirit alive. Without it, your heart slowly hardens, your discernment fades, and you begin to normalize sin without even realizing it, just as Jesus warned in Luke 18 verse 1 that you should always pray and not give up, because when you stop, you open doors you cannot see, subtle cracks where anxiety, pride, and temptation seep in, leaving you spiritually unarmed in a world that wants nothing more than to consume you. And the shocking reality is that most of the destruction in your life doesn't come from massive attacks, but from small compromises that grow in the silence of a prayerless heart. Because prayerless living means you are relying on your own strength, and Jeremiah 17 verse 5 says, "Cursed is the one who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength," which means every time you live without prayer you declare to heaven that you do not need God's power, and that arrogance is exactly what Satan exploits. For he knows the chosen ones are most vulnerable when they are disconnected, secretly weakened, spiritually blind, wandering like Samson when the Spirit had left him and he did not even know it. And you wonder why your thoughts spiral, why your relationships are toxic, why your peace is fragile. It is because you have been starving your soul while feeding everything else. And the hidden danger is that prayerlessness does not just make you weak, it makes you a target, a magnet for confusion, because Ephesians 6 verse 18 ties prayer to the armor of God, and without it the helmet, the breastplate, the shield, they all become dead weight, never activated. So you walk into battles unarmed and wonder why you bleed. And here is the most shocking part. Prayerlessness is not neutral, it is rebellion, because God invites you to call on Him in Jeremiah 33 verse 3, promising to answer and show you hidden things. And when you ignore Him, you are not simply being lazy, you are saying you would rather stay blind, you would rather stumble in darkness than receive light. And that silence is louder in the spirit realm than you realize, because demons rejoice when you go a day without praying, angels weep when you depend on everything except God, and heaven remains silent where your voice should be shaking thrones, yet you still scroll, still complain, still chase temporary fixes while the secret weapon of prayer gathers dust. And you do not see that prayer was never just about requests, it was about transformation, about shifting atmospheres, about pulling heaven into earth. So when you stop praying, you stop partnering with God's will, and your destiny stalls in ways you cannot measure. Your purpose suffocates under distractions, and your faith erodes until trials crush you because you have no root, just like Jesus warned in Matthew 26 verse 41. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation, meaning temptation is not conquered by willpower but by connection, and without that connection your heart grows colder, your patience shorter, your hope weaker, until finally you no longer even notice that you are living as though God does not exist, which is the most dangerous state a believer can be in, because Romans 12 verse 12 tells you to be faithful in prayer, not because God needs it, but because you cannot survive without it. So consider this your warning. Living without prayer is living without protection, without direction, without strength, and every day you neglect it you are gambling with your soul. So if you feel dry, if you feel attacked, if you feel lost, stop searching everywhere else and fall to your knees, because the hidden danger is real, but so is the hidden power, and it is waiting for you the moment you decide to pray.